Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Body Successful and I'm Dr. K. Today we're talking muscle soreness. So if you've started my strength training program or if you're doing your own program, you have experienced probably some sort of either pretty intense or some light muscle soreness. And so in today's video, we are going to determine what is good muscle soreness, what is bad muscle soreness, and how are we going to support it so we can recover as quick as possible and be ready for our next awesome workout. So you have to understand that some degree of muscle soreness is completely normal, even if you're an experienced lifter or a really great athlete, because muscle soreness will depend on a lot of different factors, and it is completely normal actually. It'll depend on whether you had just switched up your workout routine, you're doing completely new exercises, whether you're pushing harder in the gym, you're working out more intensely, or you're doing a bigger workload, or you had just come back after a short or a long break. All of these things, or you're actually doing a completely different type of exercise. So all of these things will contribute to a certain degree of muscle soreness. And that degree of muscle soreness will completely vary again from individual to individual. So it's really important for us to know how to support this period of time in order to minimize the recovery phase and minimize the soreness so you can be ready as quick as possible to be out there again and doing your 110%. So immediately after workout, you're going to experience a form of pain that is called acute muscle soreness. And that is usually something that will last no more than a couple of hours and will slowly dissipate on its own. And it primarily has to do with the accumulation of some metabolic byproducts like hydrogen ions and lactic acid in your muscles. So once that gets flushed out, that pain goes away. And then a second type of pain can and most likely will happen 24 to 48 hours after you had worked out, and that's called delayed onset muscle soreness. Now this is a completely different type of pain, and again, it's not to be confused with a specific injury that you might have sustained to a specific part of your body. Delayed onset muscle soreness is a generalized pain that will occur 24, like I said, 48 hours after your workout, and it can last for several days depending on how you're going to love your body during this period of time. So it's really important for us to learn how to support this period of time so we minimize it. Now you have to understand that delayed onset muscle soreness will happen no matter what. It just depends on to what degree. Because delayed onset muscle soreness actually is a normal process. It's a normal physiologic process because the paradox of the body is in order to make a muscle stronger and bigger, first you need to break it down at a cellular level. And once you start repairing these micro tears in the muscles, as you can see here, this process will induce some inflammation. And this process, when it's complete, will cause the muscle to grow and the muscle to get stronger. So this is a completely normal physiologic process. When you tear the muscle down through some form of activity, you're going to introduce some inflammation. Inflammation comes with pain, swelling, and stiffness. And this is primarily the symptoms that you will be experiencing during DOMS. But don't be alarmed. This is completely normal, and it will stay with you for as long as you have an active career in exercising your muscles. So it's kind of a validation that, okay, you pushed hard enough in the gym and you caused some changes in your body. So in order to support this process and speed it up as much as possible, there are certain things you should be doing, focusing on, which are equally as important as your workout. So this post-workout phase, this recovery phase, is you have to be equally as disciplined as you were in the gym in order to maximize the gains and the effects of your workout. So the number one thing you want to focus on is because a good recovery will want you to introduce all your building blocks necessary to build the muscle, replenish energy, and introduce some form of anti-inflammatory technique. That's the best way to break it down. So number one, you want to make sure that you have correct building blocks. So after a workout, you have depleted all your glycogen stores. So you want to have some quick, fast absorbing form of sugar in your body so you can saturate the muscles and deliver with glycogen ready for your next workout. Equally as important, you want to make sure that over a 24-hour period of time, cumulatively, you had ingested enough protein, because protein is going to give you the amino acids necessary, the building blocks, to actually fill in those little tears in the muscle fibers and build new muscle. So a rule of thumb, I'd say probably between 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound per body weight. That would be a good amount. Specifically, you want to also focus on branched chain amino acids as well as L-glutamine, which are known to be very good for speeding up the healing process or the repair process of the muscle. So you could be sipping a BCAA, a branched chain amino acid complex, with some quick absorbing sugars in your during or while you're working out or immediately after your workout. That's really important. Now, there are several other things that are necessary to do in order to minimize this, the process of DOMS and the delayed onset muscle soreness that you could be doing pre, during, and post workout. So studies have shown that passive or static stretching rather, it is not helpful in diminishing DOMS. So before you go to exercise, a lot of people start, stretching out crazy, which is some form of stretch is really important because it's going to prevent you from having a specific injury, but a lot of static stretching actually is not very useful pre-workout. Instead, what you want to be doing is going through some form of a dynamic warm-up. In a dynamic warm-up, you're essentially mimicking all the type of movements that you're going to be doing throughout your workout. For example, you have a leg day, you're going to be doing a lot of squats or lunges and things like that. So you're going to be utilizing going through those movements, just using your body weight in order to warm everything up. So that's the dynamic warm-up that you want to do instead of a whole lot of stretching, and you want to save that for after the workout. Now, also very useful to do is foam rolling. So self-induced myofascial release or actual massage is really great if you start experiencing DOMS after your workout. And foam rolling is actually a really good staple. It has been studied quite a bit for it to be and shown for it to be useful for diminishing delayed onset muscle soreness. So spending 2 to 3 minutes on a large muscle group is really good. Another important tool that you could be utilizing is contrast bath or compress, ice, heat, constantly switching it out. You want to always start with ice and followed by heat in a tempo of 1 to 2. So you always want to spend twice as much time heating as icing, and you want to be going back and forth. That's a really good tool as well. And of course, active recovery is really important. So a lot of people think that, okay, I'm really hurting, I should not be working out. But that's actually not true. You should be doing some form of movement. You should be working out, but you should really scale back. You should be doing a lot less. But it's really important to maintain that muscle pump because you want to be delivering a lot of blood flow to the area so you can have a lot of metabolic exchange, taking away bad stuff, bringing in good nutrition in order to speed up the healing process. So that's certainly a good thing. So if the day before you had a running session and your legs are really hurting, just go for a mild walk, for a long walk. That's adequate. If you were doing a lot of heavy weights, just go in there and you utilize almost your body weight or just very light weights, just go through it and allow the muscle pump to occur. Now there are of course other important things like you have to sleep enough because the muscle growth and muscle recovery occur when you're sleeping, when you're resting. So having adequate sleep is super important. And of course, which I am guilty of, not drinking enough water is really difficult when you're dehydrated, not to have these delayed onset muscle soreness be just really taken to the next level. You're going to feel a lot more sore. You're going to recover a lot harder. Having said that, drinking water takes a lot of discipline, and I struggle with this every day. I have carry my jug of water around and I seldom finish it. I have to do better. So this is going to be my New Year's resolution to work to do even better with that. But you have to focus. Some people do much better with it. This happened to be just really one of my biggest weaknesses. I'm not very good with drinking water. So if you're one of those people, please, whatever it takes to remind you to keep drinking is really, really important. Now, if you find yourself in a pickle and you're still hurting quite a bit, there are several supplements that you could be taking But I have, I'm struggling with this because there's these supplements you're not going to be taking on a daily basis, most of them anyway, except essential fats. So your omega-3 supplements are really important that you should be incorporating in your daily routine, simply because the conventional Western American diet is primarily omega-6 dominant. So what you have to realize that the ratio of omega-3 to omega-6, which are both essential fats, which means your body cannot make it, you have to ingest it through food. But the ratio between omega-3 and omega-6 ideally should always be a 1-to-1 ratio. One of them is an anti-inflammatory, one is an inflammatory. So this fine balance between the two keeps us healthy. Well, the majority of the Americans have a ratio more like 1 to a double digit. So omega-3 to omega-6 would be more like 20 to 1. So 1 to 20 rather. In other words, we have an abundance of omega-6 but very little omega-3. So supplementing with omega-3 is really important, fish oil. So make sure that you incorporate that in your daily routine, whether you do have DOMS or not, whether you are getting ready to have a huge workout or a meet or whatever that be. Just have that in your daily routine. I'm not one to take a lot of supplements. I'm not disciplined enough when it comes to that. I like things to be simple, but this is something that I definitely take. Fish oil, so essential fats are really, really important for your body, and also they're going to help you maintain a healthy endocrine system, and a nice balanced hormones are always going to help you at multiple levels, including your weight loss journey. So that's very important. Now, some of these things, so aside from omega-3, which you should be doing anyway every day, some of the things that you could be doing if you find yourself in a really sore spot, or you know that you're going to be doing something really outrageous, then I would start maybe a couple of days before. And these have been studied pretty extensively. So there's good research out there to show that, for example, ginger, 2 to 3 grams per day in powdered form or pill form, you could be utilizing in order to diminish substantially the effects of DOMS and the intensity as well as the duration. Another a good food, I guess, because it's not really a supplement, is black cherry or black cherry juice. This is shown to be highly anti-inflammatory as well. Arnica montana is another supplement that you could be utilizing for that. So the bottom line is there are some things that you could be doing, but honestly for myself, I don't see myself doing everyday ginger and arnica and drinking cherry juice just to minimize my post-workout soreness. But nevertheless, there are certain things that are a staple for me, which certainly help me minimize the pain and maximize or speed up the process that allows me to be ready for my next big workout. So remember this. DOMS is important. That means that you pushed yourself adequately in the gym. You caused some muscle tears that are important to make that muscle stronger and to make the muscles grow. So as long as you understand that that's expected and it's normal, you can embrace it, and you understand now how to support it. So you understand that being away from the gym is just important of a process that what you do in the gym, so that when you are away from the gym, you have your nutrition on point, you have adequate protein intake, you have adequate omega intake and adequate nutrition in order to support the growth and repair process. And aside from that, there's some adjunct things that you can do, such as the foam rolling and the contrast bath, of course, that we talked about in the active recovery. So I think that's it for me, guys. If you like the video so far, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so you get notified when I post new content on the channel. This is Dr. K, all the way, signing out. Till next time, be active.